Part 19. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 184. This chaotic scene of the sea temple makes all the ambitions of the minds feel great. The main temple of the sea gods was destroyed, and the sea gods that the Naga people had worshipped for 3,000 years did not appear. Many helpless Naga citizens are desperately looking forward to Poseidon, praying that their gods can help them escape. However, Poseidon is still silent. It's a good time. It's time to kill all of your chaotic thieves. Safina stood upright in the temple of the sea, and her hands were already filled with a blue ice bow. This bow is more than 3 meters long and is carved by a transparent bone that exudes chills. At the center of the back of the bow is a strange and horrible monster face. This is the first generation of the Naga Queen to kill a super deep sea beast that is almost comparable to the legendary Strong, with its spine and skull, and countless rare treasures, which took 20 years to create a legendary level. Magical wonders, Allure bow. This is the strongest treasure inherited by the Queen of Naga in the past, and it is also the biggest reliance of Safina to dare to weaken the local separatist forces in this storm. Sagana has been in the flat for 3,000 years, and the Poseidon guards who guard the Temple of the Sea are the most powerful Naga warriors carefully selected, but in front of the 8th Order magical creatures, the Deep Sea Dreams of Ceres and the North Sea Guards, Kurol, but it is hard to beat. Weak gaze, Safina's blood-red eyes suddenly release 2 equally red lights, looking directly at the Kolo above the cloud dome of the Poseidon Hall. Almost a moment, Kurol's body appeared 2 blood-red spots. Kurol's face changed greatly, and he quickly stopped the move of the mountain and cast a spell. The surface of the body suddenly rose up to an oversized yellow magic mask, which protected his huge body. Safina stretches the bow of the blue sea to the full moon, and a magical arrow with a pale breath in the ice blue whistling out. This arrow not only has superb frost energy, but also contains the deepest resentment and curse of the first generation of Naga queens. This stunning arrow crossed the entire hall of the Poseidon and almost broke the strong defense of Kulil in an instant. This perfect arrow shot precisely in the weak gaze left on the blood-red spots of Kulil. The bones of cold and pain cursing broke out in his body for a moment. Although Kulil, a master of magical creatures, has super high magical resistance to water damage, despite the huge vitality of the Quir, the Safina's arrow is directly in the body of Kolo. Drilled a huge hole in the hole, causing him a terrible injury that is difficult to heal. At this time, the Hall of Poseidon, which had been crumbling under the ground motion of Kulil, was finally completely defeated by Ceres. The main hall of the Poseidon in the upper half collapsed instantly, and thousands of spectators fell directly into it. Outside the temple, a large rebel army of Wuhuan swarmed in. The first one was the former Nanhai Town Guardian, the guardian of Nanhai Township under the command of Virginia. Stark Ho, Fizak, and the Sea Wolf King Cook also rushed into the chaos, each with a ghost, and fish in troubled waters. Your underarms. The royal guards come to help. In a critical moment, suddenly a clear and high-pitched voice rang over the entire Poseidon main hall, and Safina's face finally showed a happy color. Compared with the temple guards of the Temple of the Sea, they are loyal to the Queen of Naga in the past, and the royal guards guarding the Naga Palace are the elites of the whole deep sea country. Naga warriors of all ages who have been able to enter the race have chosen to join the royal guards. Fighting for the Queen, the neat and mighty voice suddenly sounded, and hundreds of sturdy Naga royal guards came from the charge. Although they do not have the height of 10 meters high, such as Stark Ho, but on average they are nearly 8 meters. Each of the Naga royal guards is at least a powerful fighter of the 5th or more. This is the strongest force and a strong source of confidence for Safina. However, the general of the Naga royal guards is not a Naga warrior, but a Naga siren. Not for most of the Naga Sika master spells, this Naga Kraken has 8 arms, each holding a gleaming sharp magical weapon. The legendary 8-armed Naga, they are the masters of weapons in Naga, the sacred martial arts, with agility to the ultimate speed and extraordinary martial arts skills. And the leader of the royal guards, the 8-armed Naga named Felizel, is a true 8th order powerhouse. The deep sea country is just a medium-sized plane. In this plane, the legendary strongman is hard to come out for 1,000 years. The 8th order powerhouse is already the true peak power, and the true combat power of Felizel can be ranked in the top 3 in this plane. If it were not said that the deep sea dreams of Ceres participated in the war, the rebel alliance would not dare to enter Sagnar. Almost all of the high-end combat power of the entire deep sea country has gathered here. In this Hall of the Poseidon, only the top of the masters are more than 10. This battle determines the national movement of the Naga kingdom, and also determines who can clear Liohi in one fell swoop and truly become the supreme ruler of this plane. 11 Way had a murderous heart for Thomas and chased him far away. The rebels along the way had no time to be left behind. In the high-speed Mercedes-Benz, Zai still uses the Silver Moon attack. Although this evil spell has only one ring, it still caused extremely considerable damage to Thomas under the magical increase of Zai. Thomas's flesh and blood has been riddled with holes, but the speed is still unabated, and the death is running in one direction. The vigilance in the heart of Zai has already mentioned the highest, and Thomas is going in the direction of the largest cemetery in Sag'arnar. It is a pity that Thomas in this strange form has far more than the magical resistance of the elements in the human form, and in addition to the elation of the etheric ball to launch the elemental stream, it is almost impossible to eliminate Thomas. Obviously this time Thomas dared to appear in front of Zai, and he is fully prepared. This kind of powerful inability to make the Westway police wake up a lot, the original madness on the road of the elemental magician made him very satisfied, almost want to choose elemental magic as his only way, no longer distracted by other kinds the spells, concentrate on all the way to become masters, even legendary powerhouses. However, the world of magic is so vast, human magic has been developed for 2,000 years. As the earliest elemental magician, it has long been targeted by countless smart people. Due to the existence of elemental resistance, the magic power of elemental magicians is often greatly reduced. Zai must learn other kinds of spells, and has zero existence, helping him to share the part of repetitive memory and structural analysis. He can become a living whole book. Going down this road, although it may be much slower than simply pursuing elemental mystery, in the future battles, he will not be easily restrained and become a lawless monk. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 185. Although the city of Sag'arnar is not small, the speed of the two magicians is very fast, and the cemetery on the outskirts of Sag'arnar is already in front. Thomas stopped the high-speed rolling, the group of flesh and blood spread out, the rotten and ugly face showed a smug smile. Japanese elf, I did not expect you to be so stupid, actually dare to chase it out alone. Thomas's body was directly destroyed by Zaiwei's elemental flood, which is almost equivalent to a 7-ring spell, in the Battle of the Underground Hall of the Diohe Fort. His current form is only a temporary residence. If you want to live for a long time, you must find a way out. However, he is not willing to transform himself into a dead soul. He himself is the master of manipulating the ghosts of the undead. Even if this life is stronger and live longer, it is just a mouse that can't be seen, and it will fall into the control of others at any time. The necromancer was included in the glory of the world by the Church of the Glorious Lord, and therefore had to be fully transferred to the ground. The powerful necromancer was forced to go to other planes without shining the Lord. However, in this extremely unfavorable situation, the organization of the necromancer is booming. 100 years ago, the 3 legendary powers who had no idea how long they had lived to master the necromancers had established a city called the City of the Dead in a large plain called the Land of the Dead. Here is the Lich, Bone Dragon, Vampire, Grievance, Zombie, Scorpion, here is the Paradise of the Dead, here is the holy place in the hearts of every necromancer. Although Thomas is not from the capital of the king, he has gone there to study for 3 years, experienced many adventures of 9 deaths, and mastered many horrible magic. The animal skin that can summons Diapan is from a murderous adventure, and he has mastered an evil spell involving soul and body taboos. Soul invasion. This is a spell that is taboo even in the necromancer. This requires the caster to completely abandon everything he has, whether it is the body or the heart of the lake or the spiritual power, burn it all to increase itself, use all the souls to make a bet. Once this spell is cast, the caster must die by himself. If you want to live, you will only rush into the heart of the other party, destroy the soul of the other party at the opponent's home, and replace it. Once it fails, the soul burns, and there is no chance to return to the endless river. However, at this moment, Thomas has lost everything. He has experienced many bumps in his early years, so that he has exhausted his potential early, and the promotion of the ranks of magicians is already lucky. Later, he is hard to save, his age is high, and death is imminent. The opposite Japanese elf, born to enjoy the millennium life, youthful resident, high magical talent, handsome and self-defeating, has a legendary level of magical things, but also won the favor of Ms. Yunyu. This lucky one, as long as he is alive, is simply the biggest ridicule of Thomas, the magician who struggles hard to get a chance to advance. However, Thomas has a surprise discovery, that is, although this Japanese wizard has so many unique conditions, but his own strength is so weak. At most, it is just a 4-ring magician, even the high-level magician failed to achieve. On the soul level, the high-level magician who has insight into the real world and is promoted is far more powerful than the middle-level magician. This also makes Thomas's soul invasion spell a success. Even if this will offend the Silver Moon, but as long as you no longer appear on the mainland of the Orient, the other planes let themselves swim. After 100 years, maybe you can make a legend, then you don't have to be afraid of Silver Moon. Because of the huge income, Thomas decisively chose to give his life a blow. The rich atmosphere of the dead in the cemetery is the biggest increase for Thomas. It is possible to make his flesh and blood and heart lake sacrifice more fully, so that the blessing of the sacrifice on the soul will burn even more. Almost in an instant, Thomas's flesh and blood were completely withered, the heart of the lake was broken, and everything was dissipated, leaving only a light of the soul of the burning fire of the sacrifice to directly illuminate the eyebrows of Ziwei. Ziwei witnessed the death of Thomas, and he felt the unyielding spirit and strong will to survive. In an instant, Ziwei opened the only effective spell at this time, the barrier of the heart. Control the mind, the barriers are self-contained. This is a solid barrier to defending spiritual magic. However, Thomas's soul directly rushed into the eyebrows of Ziwei and entered the heart of Ziwei. The barriers to the heart of diamonds only slightly weakened the light of sacrifice outside Thomas's soul. Most of the soul's light is still not slowing down directly hit the soul of Ziwei. Thomas, who has taken the initiative to fight, has burned all of it. At this moment, it is a battle of ruining the water, and without any hesitation, all the souls are condensed into a warhammer burning the fire of sacrifice, ignoring all obstacles and directly hitting the soul of Ziwei. Ziwei finally discovered what Thomas wanted to do. The direct confrontation between the soul and the soul is a very dangerous thing. Ziwei has the advantage of being at home and should have great advantages. What Thomas does not know, however, is that the current West is not the original owner of this body. Although it has come to the world for 3 months, there is still a little strangeness and estrangement between the body and soul of Ziwei. It takes time to slowly connect each other. However, at this moment of life and death, this small problem has caused great trouble. Ziwei completely lost the benefit of the home. Although Thomas didn't know the reason, he was very energetic. As a high-ranking magician, he carefully studied the mystery of the soul. He could absolutely crush the soul of the Japanese elf on the opposite side, win the battle of your life and death, and seize this perfection. Body. However, The next moment Thomas suddenly found that the other side of the heart of the lake actually has two souls. The souls of Ziwei and Zero are once again closely combined in a double helix structure, and Ziwei also gave birth to a passion for death. When the supernova exploded, I was still indifferent. Why are you afraid of this soul battle today? The soul warhammer belonging to Thomas finally collided with the double helical structure of Ziwei and Zero, and the two sides began to fight for the soul level. The winner has everything, the loser soul dissipates. Every promotion of the magician is the promotion of the soul, and one of the formal, 3-ring middle, 5-ring high, 7-ring master and 9-ring legend are very important. Thomas's soul has been refined through the 5 rings, and he has his own knowledge of the world. This makes him even the most experienced. The soul of the soul is far more than the ordinary 4-ring master. Ziwei has the upper hand. The souls of both sides have been strangled at close range, like a dog's teeth, and the soul no longer maintains a complete appearance, and the pieces are peeling off. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 186. You come from outside the multifaceted plane. Thomas saw the vast expanse of the starry sky through the memory fragments of Ziwei, and the super exploratory ship that is like a dreamy and magnificent. This long, cosmic galaxy is even deeper than the deepest part of the legendary astral. Bone in the Bones, the capital of the dead, Ziwei also received a lot of Thomas's knowledge. Dragon fights, fighting between killing. On this soul-level battle, Thomas is an experienced warrior, and Ziwei is just an inexperienced student. Even if Ziwei and Zero are combined, the support of the force is slowly falling into the bottom. Thomas's spirit has been revived, and he has tried again to defeat Ziwei's soul defense in one fell swoop and completely win everything. However, in the face of Thomas's full blow, Ziwei foot to the soul, he has no frontal defense, but the soul sinks into the lake. On weekdays, this is a very dangerous move. In addition to opening up the heart of the lake, Ziwei never sinks the soul into the heart of the lake. Because if the soul is infested by the elements of the heart of the lake, it is no longer pure, it is likely to affect the achievements and promotion afterwards. Thomas's soul is chased and killed, and he also sinks into the heart of Ziwei's heart. For the first time, he saw this super hard lake where the 4 elements gathered. This day, the wizard's future achievements are far more than imagination. However, as long as you kill the soul of the Japanese elf master, all this is your own. The 4 elements of the heart lake were all pioneered by Ziwei. At this time of life and death, the elements of the heart of the lake began to fight back. The most powerful flaming essence of the fiery phoenix directly sprays Thomas, and the blue wind and true spirit. Thomas was heavily blocked and the fire of sacrifice was bleak. However, he looked at Ziwei and never gave up. In the helplessness of Ziwei, he entered the central etheric lake in the heart of the growing and expanding border. Thomas's soul rushed into it, but felt as if he had rushed into a mud. The surrounding is sticky and thick, which greatly slows down the speed of the soul. The soul of Ziwei stopped and finally turned the battlefield into his own home. Ether, the 5th element of mystery. This is an element that Thomas, a necromancer, can't understand at all. Here, the soul of Ziwei is completely in the same frequency as the ether. He himself has become an ether, in the ocean of ether. Pick up the final battle with Thomas. I was born in ether, finally ether. The entire Ethereum lake was plunged into arrogance and began a violent transformation, transforming all non-ether elements into ether. Thomas's soul began to melt. Nothing can be violated, unstoppable. Thomas issued the final sorrow, he knows that his death has completely failed. Ethereum lake completely melted Thomas's soul and swallowed it all. This was turned into a grain of food, and the ether lake was expanded again. At this time, the area of the Taixin lake has been comparable to the tidal ocean, the fiery land, the Kingyun Road, and the mountains and deserts. After a long time, Thomas's soul was completely dissipated, and the Ethereum lake finally returned to calm. I don't know how long it took, as if a signal was shining, some of the etheric elements in the heart lake began to reorganize, and a double helix structure was formed in the Ethereum lake. In the end, the double helix grows to the extreme, slowly separated, forming the soul of Ziwei and Zero. In the previous decisive battle, 11 Wei took the soul into the ether, which can be said to be the same as forgetting to die. Unsuccessful. It will be a good person. However, he finally succeeded, and the etheric madness swallowed up everything Thomas had. The souls of Ziwei and Zero have been greatly enhanced. 11 Wei also got all the memory and magic knowledge of Thomas. This is not the biggest gain. The biggest achievement is that Ziwei has once again made a big step toward the control of the etheric element, once the soul can be transformed into an ether. Elemental magic is easy for Ziwei. Fighting for death, I am lucky to win. At least the moment when Ziwei turned the soul into an ether, I was not sure that I could reshape it from the ethereal ocean. If the soul fails to regenerate from the etheric lake, then this battle is the end of the same. Ziwei regained his soul and opened his eyes. The cemetery is still calm, as if nothing has happened. Soul invaders, Ziwei muttered to himself, this spell is really overbearing. If it is a common magic battle, even if the state is good, Thomas is not a Westway opponent. This battle gave Ziwei a great lesson. He realized his own shortcomings. Even if there are more ace cards, his own level is not too dangerous. In the future, it will never be easy to take risks. It is a kingly way to build a magic school honestly and honestly engage in magic research to enhance your strength. At least in the next battle of the Temple of the Sea, he will never enter the battle easily. Thomas, a 5-ring high-level magician, can almost die to death, not to mention a lot of masters and above. This war also dispelled the luck of Ziwei's heart. At the most critical moment, the silver moon did not come, and he was not invincible. With a complex mood, Ziwei quickly rushed back to the main hall of Poseidon, where the lover Natalia was still waiting for him, and the fate of the third apostle, Freya, was still in his hands. At the same time, the peak battle in the main hall of Poseidon has been heated up. There are countless blood in the sea of the entire Poseidon Hall, and the dark green blood of the Naga has discolored the sea. The Rebel Alliance and the Queen's Guards battled into a group, killing the Sound. 8 armed Naga Felicel greeted the deep-sea dream of Ceres, blocking its wild offensive. The Duke of Fallened turned anger and anger into power, using violent magic to clear all enemies around. Queen Safina holds the blue sea and the city bow blood-red eyes keep locking the strong enemy, giving the other party a horrible blow. However, in the midst of chaos, all the strangers are not moving. Silver Hair Beauty Christine, Red Hair Queen Catalina, Sea Wolf King Cook, Guguri, Silver Eagle. In addition to Thomas, who has just died completely, 7 strangers come together. Guguri kept the Princess Naga behind her and seemed to be comforting her. Silver Eagle and Christine have no outcrops from beginning to end. Natalia sat on the VIP seat with her long sword. She was motionless when she was in place. She was waiting for the return of Ziwei. The Naga girls who finished the final song Ocean Country led by Vera to Natalia. They once witnessed the positive battle between Natalia and Starkho in Broken Sea Fort. At this moment, only Natalia can protect their safety. To be continued. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 187. Mr. Guguri, the King of Naga needs your help. If you can help me to eliminate these traitors, I will reach all your requirements within my power. Seeing the loyal royal guards dying one by one, Safina began to panic. She did not expect that the rebel forces that were supposed to be scattered sand would be so brave and fearless. This kind of battle is too fierce. Even if you win the final victory, you will lose the power to control the entire Naga kingdom. As you wish, Her Majesty, Guguri seems to have been waiting for this sentence, his elegant tribute to the tribute, and then headed into the battlefield. In a corner of the Temple of the Sea, the Silver Eagle under the cloak took a bag of specially wrapped special materials from the space ring. Gently open and pour the orange-yellow liquid into the sea. This is the blood of the violent killer. It is the main material of the warrior's best active madness medicine, and it is of great value. However, diluting it in the sea can make the people of the Temple of the Sea unknowingly fall into the wild killing. The fear dissipates and the battle does not retreat. There are still too many masters of the ocean country, which is not conducive to the rule of the Estanba family, so that the killing is even more fierce. Gradually, the blood of the violent killer blends into the sea and begins to affect all life in the entire battlefield. Everyone's eyes begin to become red, unknowingly no longer pursue dodge, no longer block the protection, one by one, as a death, to change lives. The rhythm of the entire Sea Temple battle is speeding up. Ziwei, are you coming back? Who are we killing? I can't wait. Ziwei entered the scene and saw Natalia's unstoppable murder. Ziwei brows a brow. Steady holding Natalia's shoulders, zero into Natalia's body. Unknown substances are detected. Acting on the nervous system, fear and pain are suppressed, cleared. Cleared. I just felt that my whole body was hot. I wanted to rush out and slash people when I was excited. Natalia finally returned to normal. It seems that someone is secretly starting. Ziwei looked around the chaotic Temple of the Sea. Christine and Silver Eagle have not appeared yet. These two are mysterious magicians, and they are closely related to the noble aristocrats of the Holy Norman Empire. I don't know how many hidden means are the most taboo of Ziwei. However, if Francis is not thinking about it, I should go to Freya now. Freya was first transferred to the deep-sea plane through the central stone pillar, and there has been no trace of it since then. Ziwei had long been speculated, and finally confirmed after the octopus Paul explained. Freya entered the core of the so-called Poseidon Temple. The Naga were dedicated to the sea for 3,000 years. Although it was originally a symbol of the empty shell, it was used to maintain the sacred status of the Farina family, but the sixth Naga queen had selfishness. Although she is a noble Naga queen, she can only enjoy less than 200 years of life. She wants to live longer, even eternal life. So she opened a god project, under the leadership of a legendary magician at the time of the Naga kingdom. She led the army to the eastern seas to eliminate the 8th order magical creatures there, the Guanjao ant, and use the ant's shell to breed a treasure that can hold the soul. This orb is enshrined in the deepest part of the main hall of the sea god, after the death of the 6th queen of Naga. Her soul enters it, and every time the Poseidon that appears in the Poseidon festival is her performance. However, Francis and Octopus Paul entered this plane more than a decade ago and discovered this secret, after Francis wiped out the 6th queen of Naga. But gave birth to a wonderful year. That is to continue to complete this plan. In the eyes of Francis, who is already a legendary powerhouse, this method is impossible to create a god, even it cannot do. But it can greatly enhance a person's qualifications. Upgrade him directly to the qualification of the 9th order magic creature. As long as there is enough time to grow, this is a flat road that can grow to the legend. So Francis did not destroy the soul bead wrapped in the shining mother's shell. And before he died. It is also to set the transmission array of the central stone column directly in the glory of the mother shell. Zero opened the holographic scanning system, and the entire structure of the Poseidon Hall fell into the eye. There is one place that is not displayed on the hologram map. Here is a large blank. At this moment, Ziwei suddenly discovered that the Poseidon priest actually sneaked out of the battlefield and began to swim towards the blank space on the holographic map. 11 Wei quickly gave Natalia a voice, and he broke into the shadow and quietly followed the sea priest. It's not without Natalia. Sylvia is just a 4-ring magician. Whether it's Christine or Silver Eagle, I'm sure I can see it, so I won't pay too much attention, as Natalia is still sitting on the field. Then, no one will pay too much attention to Ziwei. The high priest of Poseidon walked along the secret road, followed by Ziwei, and came directly to the place where the shining ant was placed. It is very hidden and safe in the Poseidon Hall, which is nearly 100 meters below. This is a basement room with a bright blue glow. In the center of the chamber is a large white shell with a sparkling glow of 5 or 6 meters. At that time, the living glory of the ant's shell was more than 30 meters long, which was the size of the sixth Naga queen after her death. The size of the priest was processed by a special method. The sea high priest plopped to the ground, his Poseidon. Your loyal followers and servants beg you to open your eyes. Take a look at this deep sea country. The enemies in the four seas have formed an evil alliance and have entered your temple under the temple of the sea god. It is the biggest crisis moment in the Naga kingdom for 3,000 years. If you continue to sleep under the seat of the Neptune, the faith of the Naga will no longer be pious. The believers are willing to sacrifice their lives and exchange them for your waking. Just finished, the Poseidon high priest began to sing an ancient prayer with deep and profound but inexplicable charm. Her already loose skin and peeling snake tail became even more terrible. In the eyes of 11 Wei, her whole body was concentrated in one place, turned into a shining yellow light, and hit the shell of the shining mother. The body of the high priest of the sea was cast on the ground and turned into a white dust, which soon melted into the sea. The shell of Guanzhou's mother is slowly opening. 11 Wei rounded his eyes and witnessed this sacred moment. Among the ants, a small figure was lying quietly in her eyes, her mouth containing a soulful pearl shining with yellow light. It is Freya. To be continued. Tip: you can search for 00SY or 00SY in Baidu. The address of this station is, in order to facilitate reading the book next time, you can click on Add Bookmark to record this reading record. You can read this chapter directly next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Remember that the more updates you share, the faster you will. Mobile phone users, please visit Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 188. But Freya didn't wake up, she was sleeping quietly like a sleeping beauty. Ziwei stepped forward, and Freya in the clamshell was drawing the energy of various exotic items with magical effects placed in the clamshell. This is the means by which the legendary magician laid out the god project for the sixth man, the Naga Queen. It can be said that once Francis's plan is completely successful, then Freya is no longer a purebred human, but a humanoid nine-order magical creature. Strong power, long life, and how many people dream of everything, Freya is at your fingertips. It's all because Freya has a good father. However, Ziwei does not envy all of this. This kind of power is obviously flawed, and the growth of powerful magical creatures will be very long. From Freya to the legendary ninth-order magical creatures, there is still a lot of long distance. Freya did not wake up, and Ziwei was not in a hurry. In the current battlefield of the Temple of the Sea, his own combat power can play a very small role, only need to seize the best time. 0 Faithful display of the holographic projection of the Temple of the Sea to Ziwei, the killing of the Temple of the Sea has entered a feverish. The first master of the ranks is fallen. It is the East China Sea Shaofu Grand Master Stark. Although the original Stark Ho was a Naga warrior, it had very rare wisdom and envy. However, under the influence of the blood of the violent killer, he died and fought, killing more than 20 Naga royal guards. Eventually died under the blue sea of the Naga Queen Safina. The second person killed in the North Sea town Guardian Quir. This powerful magical creature eventually died under the anger of the Duke of Farina and Guguri. The situation on the scene has inevitably been reversed to the Queen of Naga. But Ziwei's heart is just a sneer, and Guguri is definitely not so kind. Guguri directly found the Sea Wolf King Cook. He began to clear the same power from the mainland of Orient. The flame of the Guguri body gas red, which activates the blood of the Estanba family, will not be extinguished even in the sea. Each of his strokes has a powerful elemental energy, and at the level of gas and Cook. The captain is comparable. Captain Cook slowly fell into the wind. However, there is a time limit for blood awakening Captain Cook and retreat, slowly pulling Gugri into a corner. As a master of the ranks of the warrior, Captain Cook can be said to have experienced a lot of swords and swords. The blood of the violent killer just entered the sea, he sniffed the taste. Gugri did not hide in a safe place, but directly kill it. This is the plan of Captain Cook. In the midst of chaos, no one noticed that the daughter of Poseidon, who was incarnation of Catherine, has disappeared. As early as the day after the underground cave, Captain Cook had found Catalina and Christine to seek cooperation. The deep sea horn can't find the mystery in the hands of three people. It can be said that the reason for the initial adventure in this plane no longer exists. In order to counter the Gugli, which has obviously occupied the general trend, in order to be able to share the benefits of this plane, the three have reached a cooperation. Gugri, you are dead. As a companion, the position of the three has been shared. Sea Wolf King Cook saw Gregory fall into the trap of himself, Catalina and Christine, and he finally revealed bloodthirsty fangs. I don't understand what you are talking about. Gug showed a disdainful smile. Kill. Sea Wolf King Cook did not dare to sneak Gugri, the heir to the Istanbul family of the Holy Norman Empire, the captain of the Saint Estanba. Gugri must have a powerful means. He attacked with all his strength and pulled the attention of the other party, trying to create opportunities for Catalina and Christine. Katrina appeared quietly at the top of the half-slanted sea temple, overlooking Gugri in a condescending position, her eyes showing a murderous murder. Although Catalina and Gugri are half-brothers, Catherine has a killing heart for Gugri. When Katrina was only 14 years old. In a quiet night, Gugri broke into Catalina's boudoir. And also used a strange fog to want to faint Catalina. If the mother had left some of the precious magical artifacts for Katrina, Catherine would be atrocities by the scum brother. At the time, only 14-year-old Katrina was lying in bed quietly, watching her brother get closer and closer, but just as he took off his clothes and leaned over the bed, he took out the sharp edge under the pillow and gave it to Gug. The little brother in the deadly blow. Gregory's miserable mourning rang through the entire Marquis house, and the Marquis of Estanba and the Marquise who rushed in saw a scene that was enough to make them shy and angry. My brother took off his clothes and climbed to his sister's bed. His sister cut off his brother's little brother. The Marquis took Gujali overnight to find the Archbishop of the splendid parish of the Church of the Glorious Lord, which cost a great deal. Asked the Archbishop to use the broken limbs renewed magic. Since then, Katrina has been deeply hostile to the Marquise, so that she is enemies in the Marquis. There is also a little bit of Marquis Estanba, who is so embarrassed and cherished by her daughter, that she wants to send her daughter to the Church of the Glorious Lord to escape all of this. This has created Catalina's runaway and the legendary rise of the red-haired queen. Catalina doesn't want to kill Gugri all the time. However, Gugri has always been under the best protection of the Estanba family. Although Catalina has already achieved the masters, she can't see it. Eliminate the hope of Gugri. However, at this moment, in this chaotic hall of Poseidon, it is the best time to kill Gugri. The Sea Wolf King Cook, and Christine, is enough to put the arrogant mad Gugri to death. Christine dismissed the disguise not far from Gug. Her face has a mysterious smile, and her hands are condensed with white magical aura, which is the 5-ring spell Fothak human body fixation. This is a tailor-made body-specific creature developed by the 8-ring magician named Fothak. It can completely suppress all the actions of the enemy in a short time, and even the magical things cannot be used. Killed by others. As long as this insidious Fothak human settlement hits Gugri, Katrina will jump down and cut off Gugri's head with a sharp blade. This time, even the Pope of the Church of the Glorious Lords will not be able to resurrect a person who has fallen to the ground. To be continued. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Arcane Age author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 189. P.S. This chapter is for the Rudder Mainit and Al Truth Plus. Thank you for your support. Sea Wolf King Cook also saw Christine's spells, and he was ready to counterattack at any time. Christine's magic finally formed. Guguri seems to know nothing, still fighting against Sea Wolf King Cook. The white light rushed out from the top of Christine's gem magic wand and came straight. Almost at the same time, Catalina jumped down and cut the knife directly to Guguri. However, the magical light crossed the Guguri and hit the Sea Wolf King Cook, who was ready to go. Catalina's fall from the sky into a joke. Guguri has been waiting for her. My good sister. You are so enthusiastic, it really makes me not used to it. The Knight of the Knights in his hand blocked Katrina's short blade, and Guguri's pupils shrank and continued to cynical laughter. Kristen, Katrina screamed with sorrow, and she finally understood what happened. Christine betrayed the cooperation between the three. No, she should have been with Guguri from the beginning. Sorry, Guguri's preparation is far more complete than you. The probability of success is 43% higher than you. I am only standing on the side of the winner. Christine had no shame after deceiving others, as if everything was taken for granted. Guguri pulled out a bottle of yellow-green potion and threw it in the Sea Wolf King Cook, who was fixed in place. Boom! The yellow-green flame suddenly burned on the surface of the Sea Wolf King Cook, and his steel-like skin and muscles were corroded at an extremely fast speed. Just a breath of time, the left arm and half leg of Sea Wolf King Cook have disappeared. This kind of heartbreaking pain caused Sea Wolf King Cook to recover from the Fatak human body set earlier than expected. This level of injury is enough to completely bury the sea wolf. Wangkuk, even if he is lucky enough to survive, he will only spend the rest of his life lying in bed for the rest of his life. As a warrior, I would rather be a fierce battlefield, and I will never sneak into it. He fought back. Yu Yang, opened the strongest martial arts, master-level combat skills, death and war. Put all one's eggs in one basket. Give up all defenses, greatly enhance your attack power, and fight for it. The Sea Wolf King Cook and his long knife appeared on the horrible scarlet light, and the whole person has become the murderer under the control of violent and angry. Guguri's face changed dramatically. He turned on the super defense of 5 different magical objects, and he retreated at an ultra-fast speed. Sea Wolf Cook incarnates a red lightning to face up, a long knife across the sea, a crack in the entire plane. This knife. Enough to move the ghosts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Guguri's body has 5 protections and 1 blow, and 5 precious and magical things that are far beyond the imagination of mortals are broken. Guguri's face showed a horrified expression. He never thought that there was no background. The Sea Wolf King Cook, who was killed from a silent pirate, could actually launch this horrific attack. The 5 magical things that are worthless in his body can't be stopped. Dying. At this moment, Guguri was so regretful that he knew that he would never go to the Sea Wolf King Cook, just as he would never go to the night to attack his sister. However, at this moment, a super strong attraction suddenly pulled Guguri, let his whole body suddenly flew to one side quickly. Sea Wolf King Cook was not adjusted. Only a long knife and a stroke, a large piece of flesh and blood on the waist of Guguri. Captain Cook burns all his life and can only issue a blow that goes far beyond the limits of his ability. The red lightning suddenly disappeared, and Captain Cook had only time to say the last sentence, "The heart is unwilling." The 7th Order Master is strong, the Sea Wolf King Cook, dead in battle. Christine saved Guguri. Catalina is also tightly tied behind, just about to end Guguri, but the body is suddenly resting in place. Enough, Miss Catalina. Guguri is your brother. Family heir, it is the silver eagle that appears here. Catalina showed an unwilling look. the Silver Eagle is the magician of the Estanba family. When she was just sensible. The Silver Eagle is already a senior magician close to the masters. The strength of the present is already unfathomable. I didn't expect the Silver Eagle to pretend to be a knight and come to this plane with Guguri. This is really the biggest misstep. A defeated. Although half of the Istanbul family's blood flow in his body, he will not die. But everything that I have struggled with over the years will be completely lost. Become something that belongs to Guguri. Just because he is the Saint Estanba family heir. After the Silver Eagle settled on Catalina, the Silver Eagle took out a scroll with the mighty glory of the Lord's divine power, and then smashed it to Guguri. This is a scroll of 5 rings of brilliant magic. The powerful power instantly heals the horrible wounds on the waist of Gug, and the pain is dissipated. It's really almost going to see the glorious Lord. I am still not married. Damn the people, Gug took a sip. The sword in his hand waved and cut the body of the Sea Wolf King Cook into a smash. The rebels are retreating. Safina has to control the whole situation. We must go back immediately, Silver Eagle said as if he did not see it, facing Guguri. Okay, Silver Eagle teacher, I will come here. Guguri had a rare fear of the mysterious and powerful magician of the Silver Eagle. This trip to the deep sea plane, all the plans were made by Silver Eagle. And the entire deep sea country is really unexpected, it will fall into your own hands. This is a whole medium-sized plane. I don't know how many valuable resources and treasures are in the ocean. Once you can lead the entire deep sea plane you will have enough resources to exchange with Philippe Grandpa, officially greet Christine. Once you get to Christine and have the grandfather of Philip, the main owner of Spania, as an in-law, then the position of the eternal empire of the Istanbul family can be further enhanced, and you must truly reach the peak of life. Think about it, there is still a little excitement. Miss Catalina, don't make it wrong. You can achieve the master class fighters at the age of 21. The Marquis is still very happy. After this battle, you will go home. The Marquis also agreed. As long as you are willing to treat Guguri like a real family heir, all misunderstandings have vanished, you are the prostitute of the Estanba family. A bright and beautiful future is waiting for you. Silver Eagle's attitude towards Catalina also very gentle. Katrina's heart was sore, and a strong sense of helplessness shrouded her. It seems that he is no longer the Golden Sea, the majestic red-haired queen, but returned to the age of 14, and turned into the unfaithful illegitimate daughter, the weak girl with no self-protection strength. To be continued. Arcane Age author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 190. Mr. Guguri, doing a good job. The traitors will soon be wiped out by Annette. Thanks to your help. As long as we finally wipe out the deep sea dreams of Ceres, then this time we will win. The head of Naga with a big smile on her face. Everything is under control. This time, although the traitors have been attacked by the thieves, the face is greatly discounted, but the winner naturally wins everything. From then on, the 4 seas will be one, and they will become the supreme Naga queen without any constraints, the supreme rule of the sea country. Princess Naga has been leaning behind her mother. Her head is slightly low. No one can see her eyes, as if she is afraid of this killing. In the distance, the battle between the deep-sea dreams of Ceres and the 8-armed Naga Felicel continues, and the 2 8th-order powerhouses are already the most powerful force in the ocean country. I am sorry, I am a big winner. Her Majesty, Gug gently shook his head. What? Safina had just asked, but suddenly felt that her back was cold, and the heart seemed to be pierced directly. A sharp and venomous short blade directly penetrated the weakest part of Queen Naga's body. She turned back unwillingly, and Princess Naga lost her focus. Her hands were holding a magic dagger smeared with blue poison. Selena. The assassin turned out to be his own daughter. I'm sorry, Her Majesty, you may not believe it. Soar's appearance fee is what I paid for. Googly had just eaten a loss, this time in a far place. This is the capital of Naga. You are human beings and you can't rule the millions of Naga people. Safina's mouth overflowed with blue blood. This deadly toxin is rapidly destroying Safina's body. Everything of. Yes. But I believe that your daughter Selena will be a qualified queen of Naga, Gug said with a smile. Very good. You are more vicious than I thought. Safina's red eyes are brighter, and the horrible energy is brewing in it. Damn, come again. Guguri turned and ran. Petrochemical gaze, the long yellow sand spewed out from Safina's eyes, and instantly petrified all the units in a large cone of vision. Although Guguri ran very fast, his two legs still could not escape this horrible gaze, and he was turned into a rock statue by petrochemicals. Intoxication, Silver Eagle released a green glow. Just hit Safina and force her to fall into the deepest sleep. However, at this moment, a light blue light curtain shrouded the body around Safina, not only blocked the magic of the Silver Eagle. And she pushed all her daughter and the poisonous blade in her heart. Like the previously powerful and overbearing petrochemical gaze, this is the special ability of the unique blood of the Naga kings of the red-eyed gold scale. As long as the energy shield is destroyed, it is not subject to any attack and injury. In a short time, the situation has changed again. Both the 8-armed Naga Fitzer and the Grand Duke Farina discovered the Queen's crisis. However, they were entangled in the deep-sea dreams of Ceres, and Ceres launched the space-locking ability of the talents. In a short time, Farina could not send back to save the Queen. Guguri's lower limbs were petrified into sculptures, and he lost his balance, and the Wolverine fell in front of Catalina. Catalina's eyes lit up, almost without thinking, and the double knife in her hand was going to end the life of Guguri. In the hands of Safina, the blue sea is full of the bow, and the sharp energy arrows are fanned out, sweeping the Silver Eagle and Guguri into it. At this time, a strong position energy composite protection suddenly rises around the Silver Eagle, and Guguri is also protected in it. Whether it is Safina's energy arrow or Katrina's double knife, it has not ended Guguri's life. The white energy arrow hits the position and protects it like a silver snake swimming in the sea. It is once again back in the blue sea of the Safina. The white energy cover on the surface of Safina is bright again. You must take the Queen of Naga as soon as possible so that you can control the situation. Spiritual Storm, Silver Eagle did not hesitate to launch the ultimate magical magician's ultimate move, releasing a powerful spiritual threat, shocking all enemies around, causing horrible damage and powerful control. This is a spell that the 5-ring high-level spiritual magician can cast. The spell level is not fixed, but it increases with the level of the magician himself. From the Silver Eagle that has advanced to become the master of the master, the power of this spell is really powerful and dazzling. The entire body of the Silver Eagle suddenly vanished, and the outline of the whole body became a transparent blue dotted line with a white light spot shining like a star. This is the symbol of complete spiritualization. At this moment, the spirit of the Silver Eagle once again jumped sharply, and the wild spiritual storm was quickly released from him as the center, sweeping the entire Poseidon Hall. This is a shock to the spiritual level. If you can't keep up with this mental storm, then headshot death is the only ending. This time the battlefield is closest to the rostrum. Originally, I have been hiding in this neighborhood, and I hope that no one can escape the horrible impact of the Poseidon daughter and the audience who can shelter them. The entire Poseidon Hall once again set off a spectacular scene. The body of the Silver Eagle rises into the air, centering on his body, constantly emitting a white light wave that is like a concentric circle. Wherever he goes, the skull bursts and the blood splashes. Ruthless killing. The life of this magical harvest is far beyond the battle of such a long time. Except for a few strong ones, almost all ordinary people have lost their lives, and none of them survived. Zai Wei was fortunate enough. Fortunately, when he discovered that Guguri and others disappeared for the first time to find the Sea Wolf King Cook, he informed Natalia that along the secret road, Several sea daughters from the western seas were hiding into the underground secret room more than 100 meters deep. Otherwise, Natalia is hard to resist this horrible spell. Catalina also has magical objects that are defensive and mysterious. Her spirit as a master is also extremely tough, and she has been rushing in the moment when the silver eagle transforms into a spirit. Even so, her head seemed to be smashed in front of the sledgehammer, and the squeaky sound in her brain kept oozing from the eyelids, nostrils, and corners of the mouth. This wild blow made Catherine lose her fighting power in a short time. See you. This is the power of the magic master. With the silver eagle, Gugri is almost impossible to lose. Christine suddenly appeared next to Catalina, her body was smashed into her arms. The energy mask around the body of the Naga Queen Safina, who almost ate all the damage, was very strong, but in the end it was broken in a steady stream of spiritual storms. Safina was pierced by the poisonous blade, and once the energy mask was broken, it immediately ushered in the ultimate fate of death. Naga Queen Safina, killed in battle. To be continued. Arcane Age author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 191. High recovery. Silver Eagle finally stopped the mental storm, returned to the human form from the spiritual state, and is a 7-ring spell. Guguri's legs restored to the original. This is the reason why the Silver Eagle just decisively shot. Safina's petrochemical gaze is almost equal to an 8th order spell. Once the fragile statue turned into a gully petrified is crushed, then it will die. Just now Guguri was perfectly protected by the Silver Eagle, as long as high recovery can restore Guguri back. 2 times in the day, I walked over with death, and the ups and downs of life are really exciting. Looking at the entire Poseidon Hall, there are no more living people. The Princess Naga Princess Selena has long been transferred to a remote corner by a silver eagle. At this moment, it is only a little dizzy, and it has not died in a mental storm. At the beginning, it was under the spirit of the silver eagle that Selena had stabbed a deadly poisonous blade. This is the difference and power of the spiritual magician. Most of their spells are colorless and invisible, and they are hard to prevent. Almost all the princes, the national ministers, and the army generals must have magical objects to protect their spirits. This is why the Church of the Glorious Lord also listed the spiritual magician as the filth of the world. In the distance, the deep-sea dreams of Ceres have gradually suppressed the 8-armed Naga Fieldsil and the Grand Duke Farina. Surrender. Your loyal Queen Safina is dead. The new Queen Selena is here, to swear allegiance to the new Queen of Naga. The situation has completely fallen into control. Guguri began to capture the ocean. The remaining forces of the country, Farina and Felizel, are Naga with loyalty as their first mission. As long as they have their allegiance, Serena will be able to sit on the throne. This plain will also be a steady stream. Provide valuable wealth and resources. You killed the queen, and want me to work for you. This is really a joke, Farina shouted, because the only daughter Farissa and allegiance Queen Safina died. Farina has the emotions of grief and anger completely occupy the brain. Serena? Her queen will only be yours. The Naga kingdom will be completely destroyed. Felicel finally stopped fighting. In fact, if there are no such outsiders, Felicel will immediately owe allegiance to Serena, because she is the last bloodline inheritor of the Falana family, the only legitimate heir to the throne, even if she personally killed her mother. But now the Naga kingdom is in jeopardy. The national war of 3,000 years will be completely over at any time. No, the Naga kingdom still exists. We only need to provide us with some wealth and resources here. Serena will be the new queen of Naga, and Felicel will become the marshal of the Naga kingdom. Guguri saw the 8-armed Naga Filier stop the battle and quickly persuaded him. This is a real 8-level powerhouse, super beater. And the shape is also acceptable to residents of the mainland of Europe. If you can recruit for yourself, you can fight for yourself across the plain in the future, then your strength will be even stronger. Although the Silver Eagle is so powerful, his object of allegiance is his father. I haven't been able to get the loyalty of a master powerhouse. Just as Guguri cleaned up the mess and completely controlled the situation in the Naga kingdom, magical changes were taking place in the 100-meter deep secret room under the Poseidon Basilica. The energy of all the life of the Poseidon High Priest accelerates the transformation of energy in the entire Radiant Mother's shell, and Freya's body is changing at a speed visible to the naked eye. The ice blue long hair grows wildly, her eyes are becoming blood red, the slender legs of the white scorpion are slowly coming together, and the golden scales grow on it. It is the blood of the Naga kings of the golden scales. This was collected by the 6th Naga queen for many years. Among the glorious ants, the rare and precious treasures of the city are strengthened by the blood of the Naga kings. This is the powerful blood that can be directed to the legend after maturity. This kind of blood is far stronger than the blood of the Bonaparte family, because the Bonaparte family, in addition to the first ancestor advanced legend, no later generations can reach the legendary height. Because this is the most perfect blood of the first generation, the blood of the non-wind elves has been diluted too much since generations passed down. But Freya never does anything, as long as the passage of time, naturally can achieve the legendary strong. Of course, this time will be very long and grow to 100 years. In fact, Fleet can no longer be counted as a person, she is already a super magic creature. The plan of the maritime overlord Francis was finally realized. He sent a generous gift to his daughter. Finally, Freya's body was completely transformed, and she slowly opened her eyes. At first glance, she saw the mentor Zaiwei. This is the first time she wakes up after she has transferred from the central stone column to this plane. Tutor. What happened, see Zaiwei. Freya has a lot of peace of mind. You can look at what you are now, Zaiwei smiled and reminded. Ah! How did I become a monster, Freya exclaimed. This is the legacy of your father. It is a long story to say. I will tell you later, Zaiwei asked, can you sense the presence of a horn? Dark blue dream star stone carving the deep sea horn. Freya closed her eyes, and after a moment she opened her eyes again. I sensed it, not far from the top. Very good. Come with me and go to the Poseidon Hall. You will recall the deep sea horn for the first time, then blow it. The power of the wind surrounds West and Freya, taking them along the long speed at an extremely fast speed. The secret road returned to the sea. At this time, the battle of the Poseidon Hall has stopped, and Gugri's persuasion of Felicel has reached the last moment. Obviously, Felicel hesitated. It's not that the Silver Eagle doesn't control Felicel. The strong ones who can get the Master's certificate have their own will, and they have strong resistance to spiritual magic. This is why the Silver Eagle chooses the pure spirit of the storm. The reason for the energy attack to eliminate Safina in this case, Zaiwei and Freya appeared in a corner of the Temple of the Sea, attracting the attention of everyone almost at the first time. Force. Another blood-eyed gold-scale Naga. In what case, is Serena not the only sergeant of Safina? Gugli suspected that he had spent his eyes. Is this? Felicer suddenly remembered an absurd legend that had been passed down through the upper layers of the Naga kingdom for 1,000 years, and her eyes flashed. There was a Zaiwei instructor around, and Freya's heart was quiet. She completely ignored this battlefield, and her mind was launched. The dreamy starry deep sea horn flew out of Kristen's storage space and appeared in Freya. Among the hands. Freya gently lifted the deep sea horn and pointed the sharp corner at the cherry red lips. Block her, Gug seemed to realize what he was, and he quickly shouted. Hey, the bright and long horns echoed in the N-corpse, and it has become a ruined temple of the sea god. It has spread far and far. To be continued. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Arcane Age author, Yulin Dudu. Chapter 192. PS presented today's update. By the way, to the starting point 515 fan festival to pull the ticket. Each person has 8 tickets. Vote also sent the starting currency, begging everyone to support appreciation. The deep sea horn Katrina blows, Christine blows, in their hands. The horn is just a common horn, but when the deep sea horn blows in Freya's mouth, the stars on the Dream Star Stone begin to shine. The entire deep sea horn has become transparent. Then, under the gaze of everyone, a huge space vortex suddenly formed. The vortex became bigger and bigger, and the horror of the powerful threatened has been transmitted through the far distance. The anchor of space, Silver Eagle quickly launched this 6-ring spell that can interrupt the transmission of spells. Want to stop the arrival of this mysterious powerhouse. The power of nothingness seals the space, trying to smooth out the whirlpool that the deep sea horn calls. Seeing that this vortex is getting weaker and weaker under the seal of the anchor of space, suddenly there is a tentacle that stretches across the plane, and gently pushes it, and the seal is instantly resolved. The Silver Eagle face changes greatly. This is the power of the legendary Strong. The legendary powerhouse has almost surpassed the mortal level and can crush almost all low-level combat power. Far more than the gap between the master and high-level professionals is desperate. Octopus Paul spans thousands of miles and roars. Its huge body occupies the entire Poseidon Hall, and its identity is recognized by the people present for the first time. The King of the Dead Sea. 12 years ago, it was the army of Commander Philisel who crusted the King of the Dead Sea on the border of the Naga Kingdom. However, the Naga army returned without success in the face of the legendary powerhouse. Can retreat the national border for dozens of miles, the sea to the King of the Dead Sea. Octopus Paul, the Silver Eagle, finally understood what the so-called legendary power of the deep sea horn was. It was the strange beast Octopus Paul who accompanied the maritime overlord Francis in the Golden Sea. This powerful strange monster has disappeared before Francis's defeat, but did not expect to appear in the deep sea country. The King of the Dead Sea confirmed the situation on the battlefield for the first time. Its horrible pressure was concentrated on the deep sea dreams of Ceres. Although the deep sea dreams of Ceres are already the magic creatures of the 8th order peak, there is still a in the legend. It appeared in Sagnar, this time, because the Silver Eagle provided a rare object produced by the Orient continent, but the legendary powerhouse in front of it is far beyond its strength. The deep sea dreams of Cyrus retracted the tentacles, and the whole body contracted into a sharp cone, slamming into the southern Chian Sea. The octopus Paul did not catch up with Ceres, and his big eyes looked straight at Guguri. Silver Eagle teacher. This. Gregory's unwillingness and depression have risen to the apex. Everything has been mastered, but it has been turned over in an instant. Go, Silver Eagle knew that things could not be done. He hand-pulled Guguri and his body flashed white. It is necessary to launch a 7-ring spell, Plane Shuttle. This spell allows the caster to deliver multiple subjects. Leave them. 11 Way and his thoughts communicated with the octopus Paul. How can you return to the mountains when this great victory? Silver Eagle and Gug have stayed in this plane for such a long time, I am afraid that they have long left a space mark. Once escaped by the other party, this plane may welcome the army of the St. Estanbo family at any time. The 2 tentacles of Octopus Paul popped up like lightning, and they almost entangled 2 people in an instant. The huge suction cup instantly captured the magical energy around the 2 people, and the planet shuttle failed. Silver Eagle, how many years of slow accumulation has grown to the magic master, must not be in this plane. In the face of the legendary Strong, he can only launch a life-saving means. A silver tail ring in the left hand suddenly burst into a magical aura, a white light flashed, and the Silver Eagle instantly left the deep sea plane. At the moment of life and death, the Silver Eagle actually left Guguri and escaped. Keston's face showed a bitter smile, and countlessly counted. I didn't expect the weakest party to summon the legendary powerhouse and laughed at the end. Katrina in her arms slammed Kristen's arms and slowly walked towards the middle of the Poseidon Hall. Her pace was not fast, but she was so determined. 11 Wei. How do you plan to deal with Guguri? Katrina asked Ziwei. Don't kill me. I am the heir to the eternal family of the Holy Norman Empire. Our Estanba family is a high-ranking nobleman of the Holy Norman Empire. My father and many legendary strongmen have very good personal relationships. There is a mystery, you will be locked when you kill, my father will inevitably avenge me. Gugri, the octopus tentacles in tight control, quickly shouted. I am a prisoner. You can ask my father for a ransom according to the divine aristocracy. I am very valuable. I am the only bloodwake person of the Estanba family. I am very valuable. My father will give a satisfactory value. Even the most powerful Silver Eagle teacher around him fled. Guguri knows that his own life is between the West and the West, which seems to dominate everything. While threatening and pleading, he only hopes to save a life. Shavi, killing him is really a big problem. He is not only the heir to the Estanba family, but also the captain of the Saint Estanba. If you are not careful, you will offend the Holy Norman Empire. Natalia from the secret road out of it, she seemed to plead for Gugri. While looking at Ziwei. Yes. I am the captain of the Santa Estanbo magical ironclad. Killing me is a declaration of war on the great Holy Norman Empire. Don't say a legend, that is, 10 legends can't compete with the wrath of the sacred emperor. Francis, when he was offended, the French king had only one dead end, let alone the emperor's majesty. Gug quickly reminded 11 Wei. Ziwei did not answer the question. Katrina seemed to understand something, and she slowly walked over to Guguri. My stupid brother, you finally fell into my hands. My dear sister. I am wrong, I am not a human, I am a beast. As long as you can forgive me, I am willing to use all means to apologize to you. Just ask you to spare me. Look at us, our Estanba, the members of the family. Guguri is very clever, he has realized from the reaction of everyone that what will happen. Sorry, these words are still to be said for the rest of your life. Catalina took a short blade without hesitation, and cut off Guguri's head with a knife. The third time facing the fate of death, Guguri finally failed to escape. 6th Order Blood Knight. Gregory, the heir to the Istanbul family of the Holy Norman Empire, died in daggers and died in the revenge of Katerina. Guguri is dead, I am the heir to the Estanba family. Ziwei. I owe you a favor. I assure you that the Estanba family will not retaliate against you. Catherine's hands were a little trembling with excitement. It's been 8 years since the night of a nightmare, and I've finally completed this sacred revenge. This is Freya, the last blood-stained scale. She is the new queen of Naga. Swear by allegiance. Duke Farina and 8-armed Naga Felicel squatted on one knee and swore allegiance to Freya. Ziwei squinted and looked at the former Naga princess Serena, who was at a loss. The cold light flashed, and Serena's head flew high. It was Felicel who took Serena's life, collecting the thief, betraying the kingdom, killing the queen. The sin is innocent. Very good. In the future, Freya will be assisted by you too. Ziwei nodded, and then he thought to transmit Freya. Freya slowly swam forward, pulling Felicel and Farina in one hand. It is my luck to get the effectiveness of 2 loyal ministers. The Duke of Farina is the Grand Duke. From today, you are the Prime Minister of the Naga Kingdom. The Count of Felicel is the Duke. From today, you it is the Marshal of the Naga Kingdom. Felicer and Farina are once again on one knee. Thank you for your appreciation. The minister will die. The long journey has finally come to an end, and everything that happens in the deep sea country is over. In just 1 month, I experienced so many thrilling events, and I really made Ziwei feel a lot. Finally, there is a little tale to collect. Miss Christine, Ziwei went to the silver-haired beauty, she has been waiting here. Congratulations, Mr. Ziwei. Or you laughed at the end. Christine smiled gracefully. Please come to my tower for a while. I wonder if Miss Christine can show her face. 11 Wei said that the word imprisonment is very elegant, and his expression and behavior are as elegant as the most perfect gentleman. Can I say no? Christine smiled softly. Offended, 11 Wei gently took hold of Christine's wrist, and in the hands of a ban on the past, Christine did not resist. 4 ring spells, the lock of the ban. This is a more ribbed spell. It can only be successful if the other party is completely unresisted. Zai tutor, what should I do? Asked the newly received Naga Queen Freya. First, peace of mind to be a queen for a while. Octopus Paul is your father's best friend for many years, it will tell you everything you want to know, Zai said to Freya. From today you are no longer a daughter of a businessman, but a queen of a country. You will wear a crown and a scepter. You will be the ruler of 1,000,000 Naga people. This is a glorious profession, too a daunting responsibility. This is the wealth your father left for you, you have to make good use of it. I believe that you will grow into a good queen. Freya took a ruby-like look. After a long time, she finally said, Zai tutor, can I still be your student? I am happy, Zai smiled comfortably, reaching out and touching Freya's long hair. The only thing that satisfied Zai was that although Freya got the blood of the golden scales of the blood, but did not become a dark green snake hair, but the original long hair of ice blue, it looks more beautiful. I will do this, queen. Never let the Westway mentor disappoint you, Freya solemnly promised. Arcane Age. Author, Yulin Du. Chapter 194. PS presented today's update, by the way, to the starting point 515 fan festival. To pull the ticket, each person has 8 tickets. Vote also sent the starting currency, begging everyone to support appreciation. 3 days later, Freya's coronation ceremony was held in the main temple of Poseidon. Although the original main temple of Poseidon has been destroyed to resemble the ruins, but under the means of the magic master Farina and the legendary octopus Paul, they quickly recovered, and all the war dead were divided into batches. Buried into the cemetery outside the city of Sagarner. The Naga nobles who were trembling at the sea god's night on the night, or who escaped from the city, wore the most formal dress to attend the coronation ceremony of Freya. There is the support of the Duke of Fahrenheit and the Duke of Felicel, now the strongest of the Naga, and no one in Freya's throne dares to question, not to mention that she has such a clear mark of scales. The band played magnificent music, which is the Ocean Kingdom written by 11 Wei. The girl who survived the night, Vera, is singing. Dafa's eyes are wet. Freya sat quietly and steadily on the Naga throne carved by the ice and jade. Dafa Dharma wiped the tears in her eyes, holding a luxurious gold ruby scepter in her hands and slowly going forward. Leaning forward to the extreme, the head hangs down to the waist and stands in front of Freya, lifting the scepter high. Freya took the ruby scepter with her right hand solemnly. I will love the people and let the talents. Farina was up and stood on the right-hand side of Freya. Marshal Felizel, who was dressed in an armor, used a pair of hands to hold the legendary magical object. Behi's bow to the front of Freya, the same upper body leaned forward to the extreme, the head hangs down to the waist. This piece, the inheritance of the royal family of Naga, is on the treasure. Freya took the blue sea and bowed with the left hand solemnly. I will shelter the people and guard the country. Marshal Felizel got up and stood on the left-hand side of Freya. The high priest of the sea god temple, who had just taken office a day ago, held a precious sapphire crown slowly forward. Freya leaned forward slightly, and the high priest put the crown of the king firmly on Freya's head. From now on, you are the king of millions of Naga people. For 3,000 years, the Queen of Naga has opened up the earth. Today, north to the chaotic sea, south to the hot Red Sea, east to the extreme cold and ice prison, west to the Sea of Death, the entire deep sea plain is all in the territory of the Naga kingdom. Let's make every effort to lead a brighter future. Freya stood up, the small body was straight and the red eyes were full of vigor. In addition to the 3 Naga who crowned the Queen of New Naga. The rest of the Naga nobles fell to the ground in a uniform manner, shouting in the mouth, "Hello for the Queen." Four strangers, Sci-fi, Natalia, Katrina, and Christine sit in the guest room in the distance, and they stand up in this solemn and sacred moment, paying tribute to them. Octopus Paul narrowed his huge body to the size of a normal octopus. It was now at the guest seat, only showing a pair of big eyes watching Flaya's coronation ceremony. "Francis, old friend, your daughter finally reached your plan and became the supreme ruler of this sea. The rebellion of this night was finally detained on the head of the East China Sea Garrison Commander Starkho and the Northern Guardian Kurol, and other nobles who secretly colluded with the rebels were not guilty. No more processing. Safana's cruel cleansing thoroughly cleared the separatist forces within the Naga kingdom. It can be said that the power of the Naga kingdom has never been so concentrated for 3,000 years. After the coronation ceremony, the new Naga queen Freya invited Zaiwei and his entourage to visit the Naga palace. "Zaiwei, instructor, I did a good job today." Freya, who has lived in this palace for 3 days, has found the feeling of home. In front of Zaiwei, she returned to her usual appearance. "Very good." The majesty of the queen, Zaiwei did not praise the words. Freya smiled and smiled like a flower. After a few moments, she used her hands to hold a white orb with the size of a fist to come to Zaiwei. "Zaiwei tutor, guess what? Hai Lingzhu, the sea spirits that Dalon Farron he had once provided to Zaiwei were only the size of a walnut, far less than the one in front. Yes, this is the special sea spirit pearl that the Naga royal family has collected for thousands of years. It is unique. Only this one. I will give it to the mentor today." Freya straightened his hands and straightened the sea spirit directly to the front of Zaiwei. Her eyes are full of sincere gratitude, and Octopus Paul and Catherine have already told her everything they know, and the information of the two is enough to piece together a complete legend. She knows that she can leap from the daughter of a small businessman to the Queen of Naga who now dominates a whole plane. The most important thing to thank is two people. One is his father, Francis, who not only passed on to the blood of his warlock, but also paved a glorious road to his own glory. The other is the mentor Zaiwei. He did not have any interest in himself. Just because he became his disciple, he did not hesitate to fight the two pirate kings. Since then, it has been for the sake of his own life, and he has not hesitated to cross the plain. Protect yourself from the queen's position. This kind of kindness is really bigger than the sky. Even if it is broken, it can't be repaid. Good, then I will accept it. Zaiwei felt Flaya's heart, so he accepted this sincere gift. "Teacher, you have more time to look at me. I will follow you to continue to learn magic." "My tuition is very expensive," Freya said naughtily. "Falina is a master of magic, you have to ask her more. Also, you are no longer a simple magic apprentice. The blood in your body has an extraordinary talent of the military. You can also ask the Duke of Philizel to ask for martial arts." "Of course, I will be back." "Zaiwei instructor, I want a gift, don't you know?" Freya asked with a slight sideways head. "What gift?" Zaiwei is puzzled. "I used to see a painting by Charlotte's sister, called This Is Beauty. It's really beautiful. I like it very much. I don't know if you can make a painting for me." Freya is a little embarrassed. In her opinion, there is a lot of embarrassment between the Zaiwei tutor and the Charlotte school sister. This is probably a testimony of the relationship between the two. But she was really shocked by the unique beauty of the painting. She felt that once she missed the opportunity, she could no longer open her mouth. "Okay," Zaiwei indulged for a moment, still agreed. In fact, there has been a scene about Freya hovering in his mind. Immediately 515, I hope to continue to impact the 515 red envelope list, until May 15th, the red envelope rain can give back to readers plus promotional works. One Piece is also love, definitely better. To be continued.